Hi everyone, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here. Well, my longest game of the tournament, the first 7 rounds, was 32 moves. My only game over 30 moves. And in round 8 against Awonder, my game was 101 moves. And it was the last game to finish by quite a bit. I guess it took a little less than 5 hours. Anyway, I won't tell you the results. I'll keep you in suspense. Some of you already know the results, of course. But let's have a look. Okay, so I played d4. Normally, Awonder plays the Grunfeld, and he did today. Awonder needed 2 out of 2 to get a GM norm, so he'll be playing for the win the whole game with black. I like to win too, I just never do it, so hopefully one of us will win. Okay, so I prepared a line that seems to be a specialty of Mamajarov. He's played it at least 7 or 8 times, and I don't notice any other Super GMs playing it a lot. It mainly was played in the 50s and 60s. So I played e3 and takes. I've never done this before. And after bishop c4, he thought a long time, so he was probably out of his prep now. You can take the knight or play knight b6. They're both... Knight b6 is more common. That's what he did. And now the most common move is c5, and this was what I mainly studied. And here, black can play either knight c6 or bishop g4. And I looked at maybe 20 or 30 games this morning in this line. Okay, he played knight a6, which I didn't know, but it turns out it's actually been played a few times. Castles, c5. And, well, I mean, normally they take and play knight c6, but since his knight's on a6, he's not doing that. And normally they play bishop g4, so I played h3. I could also play queen e2 and then rook d1 and let him play bishop g4. But... Okay, now here in the Grandmaster games I looked at in the last half hour, it seems like black usually plays bishop to f5. So Awonder played e6, which is pretty rare. And in this position, I found one game, and black played queen e7, or took his own bishop, either way. And queen c7 is what Awonder chose. So that's the first new move of the game. And computer says white is slightly better. I could play either e4, a4, bishop to d2. I didn't want to play e4 because then when he trades on d4, he'll get the c5 square for his knight. I want to take back with a pawn to keep this knight out of c5. Or I could skip ahead accidentally 1,000 moves. Okay, so I played a4 with the obvious idea of playing a5, and the knight doesn't really have a good square. So he played c4, attacking my bishop. And that releases the tension on the center, and I didn't think he was going to do that, because now at some point I can play e4 and have a nice pawn center duo. So c4 is an unusual move in the Grunfeld, because white's going to get a nice center now. And here, the engine wants me to play e4, and I just didn't want to give up the 2 bishops, but I mean, that's a nice center. His knight on b6 isn't very good, so white has an advantage here. I played bishop b1, which isn't as good. Played a5, cementing his knight. I played e4. I thought I had a nice advantage here, but computer says it's about equal, or maybe white's a little better. Bishop c6. I played h4. Actually, after e4, I was expecting him to play f5, which is a move. I just thought that was more interesting. Okay, h4. Now I was really surprised. Well, the computer says it's okay. He played h5. I wanted to play h5 and take on g6, and hopefully my bishops can do some damage on the king side, as well as my knight going to g5. But he played h5. And now I made a mistake. I was really surprised to hear this was a mistake. I think the computer wants me to play bishop g5 here, or bishop e3. I played knight g5 because I wanted to attack his king, and my knight has a nice g5 square. And the computer doesn't like that and says after queen d7 it's equal. Black has a lot of counterplay on the queen side here. My a-pawn is quite weak. Okay, so I could play bishop c2, which is probably the best move, but again, I'm not giving up the 2 bishops. So I played e5, going all in. He took a pawn, and I thought a long time here and played knight e4, which the computer likes. So I have a big attack against his king. My bishops are pointed that way. My knights are over there. His knights are over on the queen side. C-pawn's attacked. You know, it's funny. at some point, I thought he would block my bishop with knight d3 and sacrifice a pawn, so I lose my white squared bishop. And so I looked at queen takes c4 here, although I didn't look at it with an engine. And the reason I rejected it was because of knight takes, pawn takes, bishop a4, and I couldn't see what to do here. So actually, I want to look at that now with an engine and see if I'm crazy or not. So let's see, queen c4. It says, yeah, it says knight c3, bc3, bishop a4, and black has a big advantage. I actually calculated something correctly. Yeah, it even says that black can play b5 here and he's equal. I thought I was killing him if he didn't play bishop a4, because now my bishop can just never get blocked. So I thought this white square bishop would be trouble for him. Yeah, but after bishop a4, I'm actually in trouble because he has too much counterplay. Okay, so I was right about not playing queen takes c4. That's good. I'm glad that I did something right. Okay, so I played knight e4, which is right. He played queen d5. Okay, and now I went crazy. I can just play a normal move, like any normal move, and the computer says it's about equal. Yeah, but I played a crazy move. Maybe rook a3 is the right move, and then swing my rook over to the king side, which I thought of. So Matt Larson, if you're watching this video, I played g4, which is not a good move. It's not horrible, but I thought I was going to mate him, and instead I almost mated myself. He played knight d3, which is correct, blocking my bishop. And in this position, I didn't want to take with the queen because then my g-pawn's not defended. And I wasn't really worried about him winning the exchange because I was busy checkmating him, so I didn't care about that. Okay, so he played hg. And now I made a mistake. I didn't play queen g4 because I was worried about knight c5. And I can't take with a knight because of mate. And I can't take with a pawn because my rook's hanging. But yeah, actually, this is the right way of playing for white. I just have to play rook e3 here, which I just didn't see. Defending my knight. He can't take on d4 because knight f6 check, and I win his queen. Actually, after rook e3, the computer says this insane position is equal. Structurally, black's a lot better and bishops and such, but okay, if I play h5, I have a big attack. And material's equal. So actually, a computer doesn't really give black much here. I thought knight c5 was winning if I allowed it. So I played the move b3, and the idea is I thought he would play knight b6, and then I play queen g4. And if his knight's on b6, then he can't put his knight on c5. And he played a fantastic move here, which I didn't see. I mean, I attacked his knight, so I thought he'd move it away. He played f6. And I thought until I had about 5 minutes left, and I realized, the whole time I realized I was probably losing now. Yeah, truth hurts. Well, the problem is I can never move this knight because he mates me everywhere. And I need this knight to defend this knight, but he's getting rid of that knight. So I thought forever, and I luckily played the best way. I took his knight, took my knight, I took his bishop, took my knight, I took, and he took. And I saw this, and I said, wow, this is terrible. And I tried to find something else, but I couldn't. So, okay, so I'm down a pawn. It's opposite bishops. He's got 2-1 on the queen side. So good winning chances. I had a little less than a minute here, and he had about 5 minutes or 4 minutes. We have 30-second increment. Okay, well, the game's not even 1/3 over, I'm afraid to say. The truth hurts. Okay, bishop d5. I played rook a c1. Okay, now I went crazy. After bishop c6, I actually have good drawing chances by attacking these two pawns. So I should play rook e3 or rook e1. And then if he defends his pawn, I mean, let's say with this rook, then, let's see, what was I going to do? Yeah, I guess I can, actually I'm not sure now. I guess I can attack, I can go here, and if he takes rook c7 is pretty dangerous. I'm attacking this pawn, and my bishop is coming in, and my rook is coming in. So you better be careful here. And if he plays the other rook, then to e8, then I'm attacking this a pawn, and I can put pressure everywhere. If he defends with rook f5, I have this move, which I didn't see. Oh, white has good drawing chances here. Okay, so instead I went all in again. I played rook takes c6. I thought this exchange on ending gave me good drawing chances, because if he has no pawns, I'll draw. And, his pawns are pretty bad. So if I can get rid of all of them, I can draw. Rook and bishop against 2 rooks is an easy draw. He doesn't have any passed pawns. He has double pawns. There's not many pawns left, so I thought I had good drawing chances. Okay, he played rook e8, which is best. And I should probably play king g2 here, and king g3, and rook a6. But, okay, again, with no time on my clock, I made an aggressive move, trading some more pawns. And now I'm threatening this pawn, and I'm threatening bishop here, check, winning my exchange back. So rook a8's a move. That's what I expected. He played rook f7, stopping bishop h6 check, and rook d7, and he's just going to push his pawn. So I went back to stop it, and I stopped it. And now I wanted to play f3 and trade off the g and f pawns. Then I only have one pawn to worry about, and I was able to do that. And I don't know if this is a win or a draw. During the game, I thought I was lost. I'm not so sure now. It seems like he only missed one win, and I'm not 100% sure that's winning, but probably. So, well, we both had second. I mean, we're just playing on increment here, and the computer says our moves are pretty good. We didn't really make any bad moves here. I'll get to the position where it seems like he was winning, but it's sort of hard to explain what's going on. Okay, these moves are all fine. Computer says we're playing great. Okay, and h5 is actually right. Okay, now king e4 is probably not the best move, but it's probably okay. And it seems like this is the only position where the computer thinks black is winning. You can play the move rook d7. I can't take his pawn because my king is defending my bishop also, so I can't do that. And I have to be careful that he doesn't pin my bishop and win it, because my rook doesn't really defend my bishop. And I looked at this with the engine for about 3 minutes, and I think it's winning for black. It says black's up 3.5 now, which is a lot. And it normally says black's up about 2 or 1.8 or something. I think this is winning because his rooks are really well coordinated to check me and attack my bishop and these 2 files. So that seems like it's probably wins. Okay, he played rook e8 check. Yeah, and after h6, I think, unless I blunder, there's no more win. My pawn's pretty strong now. And, yeah, I actually had this ending before with this material. Obviously not this exact position. But I had rook, bishop, and pawn against 2 rooks and a pawn where both pawns were passed. And that was actually a rather easy draw. That was in the Kings versus Queens. It was the men versus women tournament they had at the chess club here about 5 years ago. We were fortunate to win. And I drew this ending with exchange down. Okay, and then the computer says we played okay here. I don't know if I'm losing or drawing during the game. I'm just trying my best. But yeah, now my pawn's really strong. Once he plays rook h7, it's hard to believe that he's even better because his rook is so bad. But still, I had to fight. Keep fighting and making sure I didn't lose on time. We both had less than 10 seconds at various points. Good thing for the 30-second increment. Yeah. It's a little trick here. If I take the pawn, then he plays rook check. And I lose. Okay. So I played rook g1 check. Check. And yeah, it's hard for black to win because his rooks aren't very good. Here he could try rook e2. And I think more than one move draws, but my intention was to go check, check, takes, and h7. Let's see. So if he plays rook e8, I play bishop c3. That should be a draw. And if he plays here, I go king e3 or e4. Okay, I think that's right. Although I'm pretty tired. It was a long game. And I think other moves draw too. Rook h1 might draw, although I'm not going to sack my bishop unless I'm 1,000% sure. Well, I might as well turn the engine on. I have it right here. Let's see, what was I analyzing? Rook g8 check, king f7, rook g7 check. Yeah, okay, the computer says this is all zeros. Okay, so this is what I was going to do, and turns out I was right, luckily. Okay, so he played rook to d5, and I thought till I had seconds here, maybe like 4 seconds. And probably a lot of moves draw, but I was getting nervous. I played bishop g5 because his rook is doing double duty here, and I wanted him to move his rook. I wanted him either to let my king over, or I wanted him to let my pawn through. So he has to make a decision. Awonder's dad thought that this was winning for black, and my son pointed out to him that h7 draws, which it does. And I pointed out to my son that this is even easier. And then king e2. Or I could mouse slip and lose. Okay, it's hard to mouse slip though because I guess I'm winning here because I queen. Yeah, yeah. So actually, rook d7 loses. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, so I'm threatening bishop takes rook, and now he has to make a decision. Where his rook's going to go. He went to d7, which stops my pawn, but doesn't stop my king. So now I'm going to move my king over. He stopped me, and we repeated. Yeah, h7 is not a great square for the rook. And now I win the pawn. And normally you would play king versus king, but actually, I guess officially the game's over here because nobody can legally win. So before he took my bishop, I just put my hand out because I guess the game's over. I don't think king takes bishop can be played. I just can't legally win. So, yeah, I'm up a bishop. What a fine player I am. So I think I defended that ending well, and I think he's probably winning on move 68 in this position with rook d7, but I mean, it's possible he's not too, but usually when the engine says 3.5, that's pretty good. But, I mean, considering I had less than 2 minutes for the last 60 moves, I'm pretty happy with my defense. And I was expecting to lose ever since he played f6 a long, long time ago. And somehow I was able to draw. So the game ended in a draw. Unfortunately for Awonder, he won't get a norm. The other person who could get a norm, the Turkish player, Almirandi, he lost. So no GM norms in my group. I think if Tatev wins her last game, she gets an IM norm, but she doesn't need any IM norm. She has like 1,000 of them. She just needs her FIDE rating to be 2,400. And she told me her peak was 2,396. And her rating right now is about 2,350, I guess. So she needs to gain some rating points. In the other section, the IM group, Joel Benawa's in clear first. He has 6.5 out of 8. So he already has the IM norm. I think he's an IM now. I think he has all his norms. He just needed to be 2,400, and he's probably up about 30 rating points. So I think Joel Benawa became an IM this tournament. That's what I think. Justice Williams needs a draw in the last round, and he's playing Doug Eckert. Doug Eckert's the lowest rated player. So they'll probably draw tomorrow quickly, I'm guessing, and Justice Williams will get an IM norm. So it looks like there'll be 2 IM norms and no GM norms for this event. Tomorrow I'm black against Andrei Gorovets. He's the highest rated player in the tournament. He won today, so he has +1, and I have 50%. So, man, it's a tough tournament. A few rounds ago, you may have remembered the game I lost to David Berkses. That was the first game he won in the event, which was round 5, and he decided he liked winning, and he won in round 6, 7, and 8 also. So he didn't win the first 4 rounds. The next 4 rounds, he won all of them. So that was really surprising. Somebody won 4 games in a row in our section. So he's in clear first. David Berkses, the Grandmaster, and Awonder is in clear second. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think Gorovets is in clear third with +1. And I think I'm tied for fourth with like 2 or 3 other people. So tough game, tough round, really interesting. I'm exhausted from playing that game and from defending for 60 moves, and very lucky to draw. All right. Yeah, sorry I had to suspend comments, but they're just too crazy, and I don't see me putting them back in the near future. I've already gotten some private messages. We want comments. But yeah, too bad. Okay, so donate and then donate more and keep donating, and I'll try to play a 102 move game tomorrow. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook, the Chess Club and Scholastic Center of Atlanta. And tomorrow will be my last video of the tournament. And then on Wednesday, I'm playing in the Pro Chess League against San Jose. I believe the team's going to be Wesley So, Varakobian, myself, and Nicholas Rosenthal. Normally, San Jose has Shakhriyar Mamedyarov playing, but he's playing in the Grand Prix now in the UAE. And I think it's going to be 5 in the morning when his time. So I doubt he's going to get up at 5 in the morning and play 3 hours of chess and then play his Grand Prix. So it's very unlikely he's going to play. So that's good for us and good for Wesley. Wesley will have a chance to get his usual 3.5 or 4 points. All right. Thanks for watching the video. Bye, everyone.